Hey everyone, Aquarian Humanitarian here. Today we will continue our mental health dialogue. I'm super grateful and excited because we get to sit with Sir Tato Malay again. He has so much wisdom to share with us. I requested that we discuss and expand on his Facebook post about his 10 tenets that he lived by. I think that would be a great share to everyone. So with that said, I want to welcome and introduce uh, Tato Malay. Thank you for being here again, Kuya Tato. How are you
Yeah,
today?
I'm happy. I'm happy to be invited again to be part of your uh, vlogging or your video rather.
Yes,
So I'm
yes.
here to talk about Kamalayan again. So I'm sure you're going to have a lot of new insights, and not only new insights, but again, This is what I normally do. I shock people. So this is what
It's
I am
time.
going to do to,
It's
to shock
time.
you again.
It's time to shock people. But you know what? Before I move forward with, before we discuss
Again.
those, before we discuss the 10 tenets, I want to go ahead and read what you post. Okay.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
going to read what you post so people have
Oh,
background.
that's too long.
No, it's not too long. It'll be quick. And then
All right.
we will go through the uh, to the each one because it doesn't make sense to go straight to the 10 tenets without you introducing the background of it. So it will be
Exactly.
just very quick. So this is
Okay.
Kuya Tato Malay's Facebook post 3 days ago. Leveling Up Consciousness, a guide to living as the new human. He says, I'm done with the old beliefs that tells me I'm limited, broken, or waiting for a miracle. I'm stepping into something louder, clearer, and a lot more personal. I'm reclaiming the power I already carry. I've learned the cosmic teachings and the presence of God within. And I'm done pretending that's that's enough while I stay quiet about how I live it. If this power is real, it's not going to reveal itself by sitting still. It's going to radiate through me, through every thought, feelings, dreams, and actions. I'm done chasing outcomes with my old story. It isn't about what I can get or what I can manifest, like a stuff I need list. It's about the kind of person I'm becoming in every moment. Am I living my higher self? Am I consistently aligning my health, wealth, love, and success with who I'm choosing to be? I've learned that the universe isn't a vending machine, it's a feedback loop. If I'm not showing up as a complete, whole, presence, power, love, wisdom, imagination, faith, forgiveness, enthusiasm, will, then I'm inviting the opposite to mirror back to me. We stand at a crossroads where old beliefs still pull at us, whispering that the world isn't enough, that we're not enough, that change is a spectator sport. I refuse to wait for permission or pretend that change happens by wishing harder. The Earth's consciousness has shifted to a higher density, and if I'm chilling in outdated energy, I'm not just missing out, I'm resisting my own evolution. It's time to level up my thinking and become a new kind of human, aware, intentional, and daring. Here are the tenets I'm choosing to live by, not because I'm told to, but because I've tested them in the furnace of my life and they've shown up as truth. So let me just read the 10 and then we'll expand on it. So number one, God is within me right here, right now. Two, I exist forever. Endings aren't the end of me, they're a doorway. Three, the one is all, and the all is the one. Everything is connected, no exceptions. Number four, everything is here and now. The past is a story, the future a forecast, but today is where I live. Number five, God's nature responds to my consciousness. My beliefs, feelings, and thoughts shape my reality. Number six, what I give out returns to me. I'm co creating with every interaction, every choice. Number seven, universal laws and principles endure. Everything else shifts, but these stay true. Number eight, I have unlimited potential and I can be a blessing to the world, starting with myself. Number nine, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. I'm here to learn, grow, and impact. Lastly, love is all there is. Love in action through courage, forgiveness, compassion, and joy. Changes everything. Okay, so those are the 10 tenets that Kuya Tato Malay lived by. So I want him to expand on each of them. So go ahead, Kuya. That's number one.
All right. Wow. This is
That's a
going to
lot.
be a very, I would say, exciting moment because
Absolutely.
this is the first time I'm going to talk about it on video. Normally, I just write about it and
Correct.
or talk about it in Kamalayan seminars, but on
Yes.
video, the first time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. This is good this
Basically,
way. It's good this way because there's a lot of people that aren't able to attend Kamalayan. So, and not a lot of people are able to see all of your posts. But I thought that this post is great. So I said, oh, this would be a good topic to discuss in
yeah,
today's Zoom. So go ahead.
because I've been writing about it, but people don't seem to really give importance to it. But I mean, I'm very happy that actually you took note of this and you want me to expound on this. So
Yes.
let's start. Well, I would actually state at this point in time that all those things that I've learned, as what you have read earlier, I have compiled many of these lessons from different sources. So it's basically, I did not invent them. I did not try to create something on my own. I studied everything. I picked out the best and I said, this is exactly the only things that I would want to do or promote and to help people understand all these things so that they can actually live a life that would be very, very, I would say, productive, happy, uh, I would say, prosperous. So this is it. I mean, I tested all of them and I found them to really be effective. They're all true. I will never write or teach anything that I've never, experienced. So many of the things here that you actually just read are universal laws. So they are really universal laws that I learned from my ET friends or extraterrestrial friends. So these are really, I would say, definite things that really cannot be changed. So to start with, uh, the first four uh, items that we will discuss are actually universal laws. I learned from Bashar. I don't know if you're familiar with Bashar, but
Yes.
anyway.
Yes. Familiar.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry. The first five here. Anyway, so the first one is God is within me, right here, right now. I mean, this is something that the church really never taught in terms of uh, in terms of really explaining it in a real in the right context because what the church or religion actually taught, they actually told us that God is up there and we are down here and we are separated.
Mhm.
That's the main thing, the main contention that they actually really did to us was to tell us God is separated from us. And so what happened to us? We became weak in terms of who we are because primarily, I mean, basically, what we thought about ourselves are just, slaves. Just following what orders are given to us. It
Correct.
was never told to us what exactly Jesus taught us that God or the kingdom of God is at hand. The kingdom of God is within, and God is inside of us. And if God is inside of us, what are we? Aside from just being children of God, we are God as we. And what does that mean? We are powerful. We are creators. We can create whatever we want. And we are not weaklings. That's the real essence of what I am teaching in Kamalayan because the religions basically told us that we will not be able to really be happy or be contented with our lives here on earth, because basically our life, I mean, our happiness will be really just, we will be enjoyed only if we die. And what do we mean by when we die? I mean, that when we get to heaven, and that's the only time we'll only say we're going to be happy. And what about our life here on earth? What are we going to do with our life here? I mean, we're just going to make this, I mean, sacrifice, suffer,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, work hard and not enjoy life to the fullest here. Is that it? I mean, is that the way we should live our life? And so that's when I really said enough is enough. I have to, go out and tell people, hey, we are now in heaven, because Jesus himself said it. The kingdom of God is at hand. And where is it? Inside us, everywhere. Everywhere is heaven. Wherever we go, it's heaven. So what are we now telling people, that we are still not in heaven? I mean, is that what, I mean, that's exactly what the church is saying. You're not in heaven right now. Nobody has been in heaven yet until you die. And that's exactly, I think, the most, I would say, uh, it's not just um, something that people would say that would help me live my life to the fullest. No? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I am here on earth to what? To suffer? Is that all there is to it? Just to exactly uh, get sick and and uh, and uh, stay that way and then wait till I die? That's the real um, message that we were taught to. I mean, by our church and school. And so, exactly, if you get that kind of a message or that teaching, no wonder we are in this mess that we are now in, the crisis that we are in. It's really a crisis of consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
because people didn't tell us exactly how we should be able to really create that kind of a life here, because they never told us what consciousness is all about. Because they said you just have to evaluate your conscience. I mean, you have to stay pure. You have to be in the state of innocence, or being well, when you have to avoid sin, and that's the only time you'll be able to really enter heaven I mean, in the future. But then again, that very word consciousness was not mentioned. It was not explained to us. They concentrated on conscience. Makonsensya ka.
Mm-hmm.
Parang may takot pa eh. It's a threat eh.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Yeah.
Imagine telling us, makonsensya ka. Wala ka bang konsyensya? O sabi ko, okay. So doon tayo napako sa konsyensya. Yung consciousness, hindi na-explain sa atin eh. Because exactly that is our power, our consciousness. God consciousness. That's all there is to it. I mean, and they never told us that because they were afraid, because they will lose control over us once we learn about consciousness. That's why they never really discussed it openly. And they would just talk about conscience. That's all. So I think,
I think that has a
and
purpose in the grand scheme of things, Kuya Tats, what they've done. Because, if we're not able to control our powers, it would be chaos. So
yeah,
there's a reason why it was done that way. But it serves its purpose. Now we're in a different timeline where people are learning who they are. So,
exactly. Now we have to wake them up. We have to tell them who they are. They're not just ordinary people.
correct.
That's why, as you read earlier, we are now becoming the new human. We are becoming the galactic human that we're supposed to be.
Yes,
And that has never been discussed openly, especially in mainstream media.
correct.
It's all about, you know, people with problems, people who are sick, people who are poor. And so,
They don't realize that they have the power to fix all of those things.
yes, we can change everything
Yep,
overnight. I mean,
yep.
that's what people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Akala nila forever na yung kahirapan nila.
Yes,
Nagdurusa sila. And ang I mean the sad thing here is they depend on other people, especially the government, to help them out. Because without them, there will be nobody. I mean, there will be nothing for them to help. And that's the worst thing to tell people. I mean, to depend on others because you are the only creator of your life. If you don't understand that, forever you'll not be able to have what you want in this particular lifetime. So this is exactly uh, the statement that normally people tell us. Ano ba yung kamalayan niya? Yan ba yung God within? So they actually know. Many are aware already that we are emphasizing the God within concept.
mm-hmm.
Kasi ang sa kanila, hindi sila God within because God is up there.
Mm-hmm.
Sa atin, God within. So, yeah, in other words,
Correct,
we are God as we. I mean, yun ang pinagkayabang namin. And we are not ashamed to tell people who we are.
correct.
And ang dating natin blasphemous, heretic. Ayun. So, that's the problem.
I want to add something real quick. When you're talking about depending on others, people may not be aware of this, but one of the lessons that we're supposed to learn is to be sovereign, to be a sovereign being.
To
Not,
be sovereign, yes, exactly.
yes, that's one of the things that, one of the life lessons that we're supposed to learn. So, not until you learn how to, how to take care of yourself,
Mhm.
you're not going to get to the next level. You can't level up until you pass that lesson because you have to be a sovereign being. You have to be able to take care of yourself. You're not supposed to rely on anybody. And a lot of relationships are like based on codependencies. And so what I'm finding is there are relationships that are not working out because in a like in a relationship, sometimes one is always depending on the other. One is always the provider, one is just like depending on the provider. But it shouldn't be that way. It has to be balanced. And so what happens is I'm finding that there are a lot of relationships that are not working out because the provider in the relationship had, you know, he or she woke up to the fact that, okay, why am I just doing this? Why am I not getting help from the other person? And when that person is fed up, then they will make a decision to sever the relationship. And
And
I'm seeing
yeah,
all
okay,
of that now. Go
that's
ahead.
correct. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what I try to always tell people who, especially those who are entering marital relationships, because what is happening right now is when I mean they think that when they get married they can change the other person, but definitely you will never be able to change another person. The only person you can change is yourself. So if you don't understand that concept, you will be frustrated in trying to change things that are out of your control because you can never really change another person. The only way that, I mean, the only person that you can change again, I mean, as I've said, is only yourself. And so if you understand that, that means you will have to accept fully the other person as who they are. You will not try to judge them. You will not try to uh, make them what by, I mean, come up to your standards. You will just be able, I mean, you just have to really accept the way they are. And if you're actually accepting the way they are, that means you're giving them unconditional love. That's exactly what we need to understand also, because we're taught to love other people. We're actually supposed to love everyone. But again, what is love? I mean, people don't know how to love. They love with conditions. So you have to be this so that I can love you. Otherwise, I won't love you or I will not give you what you want. So exactly, that's how we actually look at relationships.
Yeah.
So a lot of people get frustrated, even in the workplace. I mean, people expect things from each other. At least in the workplace, I mean, there is a a commitment in terms of a contract. Okay, you have to do this because you're going to get paid. So otherwise, if you don't do that, you'll be fired. You'll not be working anymore for the company. But in a relationship like marriage, I mean, and the thing here is it's supposed to be forever. You cannot fire the other person. But then again, as I've said, they don't know what to expect from each other because they don't know what they can really do. Only, I mean, what their actual powers are in terms of how they live their lives together. That's why even if, for example, they already say, okay, kanya-kanya tayo. The real problem of our people is that we don't know who we are. As individuals, we don't even know what will make us happy. So if we're not going to be happy, how can you have a relationship that will be happy? How can you make another person happy if you yourself are not happy?
Correct.
And that's a real problem because we actually were not told exactly as to who we are, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Exactly, that's part of the 10 tenets that I have talked, I mean, that we will talk about. So we're just on the first tenet. We're just on the first one state. And we are already consuming a lot of time on this. I mean,
I,
what more with the others?
it's okay if we're not able to
Yeah, we can continue later
finish.
on.
Yeah, if we cannot finish in 1.5 hour mark, we have to continue on a later
Yeah.
session. But before we move forward to your point two, I just want to add something on point one. So you said God is within, right here, right now. I agree, and I added that we are a
And
divine
God
spark.
is in every person as well.
Correct,
That's
correct.
why we say namaste to another. I see the God in you, or I know I acknowledge the spirit in you. So
Yes,
that's how we should see each other, not as just human beings, not just as physical human beings.
correct. We're all gods, and we have to see. I mean, we're all basically we're all creators, and we are a divine spark. So what I noted here, because I shared your post and I commented something on point one, and I said, yes, indeed, that's correct. We are a divine spark. Fear, lack, scarcity, worry, guilt, shame, negativity are not divine's qualities, but some of us likes to embody them, hence we suffer. So that's my
Yeah, basically, it, it's basically knowing who I am, and that's the name of God. I am that I am. So if you know who I am, if I know who I am, and I know I am God as me, so that is already the big moment or big movement that I can do to achieve the 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 life that I really would want to have in this earth that we're living in now, and we're trying to make this heaven on earth.
Correct. We're creating heaven on earth. And it's not hard to do, but the thing is because of free will, we end up doing things not
Yeah,
in alignment with source.
we
So,
we, we forgot who we are. We forgot
mhm,
that as spiritual beings, we never were separated from God in the first place, from the source. We
yeah,
were always connected. That's
yes,
why mga ginagawang binyag-binyag or baptism, I mean, for what? I mean, to tell you that you're going to be uh, connected with the source. I mean, we're always connected. So who
yes,
actually told us that we are not connected? The church. So they want us to become um, the way they see us.
separate.
They created,
They want an intermediator between
yeah,
God
they
and
want to
you.
be the authorities
Yeah,
to be able to really uh, create that kind of a hierarchy so
yeah.
that we stay under them and we will just be followers of them.
Yeah, so we just wanted to the viewer watching this, we just want to say that you can go direct, you don't need intermediary. So I'm gonna
Because
move
you are
forward.
God as you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct. So let's move on. Is there anything else on point one, or can we move on to the second part?
Yeah, we'll just go back. Well, I mean, everything naman is, I mean, everything here is interconnected. So
Okay. So
we would just be
number
one.
two, it says, I exist forever. Endings aren't the end of me, they're a doorway. So I made a comment and I said that death is a transition to the next thing that your soul wants to experience as a spiritual being.
Exactly. So we have always existed ever since we are spiritual beings and connected with the source. We were never actually gone in the first place. We never started from something. We were already there. From the moment God was already there. I mean, we were also there. But the thing here is they think they tell us that we are not uh, uh, connected to that power. So it was only now that they're trying to reconcile us. But again, as what I have learned, we have existed ever since. We never will die. We will always continue becoming whoever we would want to become because it's a never-ending thing. Because we are also, I mean, infinite beings. We are infinite beings. We are eternal beings like that. And so
Yes,
this is
correct.
exactly what people don't know.
Yes. So
And
people
that's the
think,
only, yeah,
sorry, so people think, since we're in the mental health topic, so people think that when they take their life away, that ends everything. No, it doesn't end there.
yeah.
They
That's why
think that taking suicide is like would solve their problem. No, it doesn't end there.
that's true. And that's why I have some friends who actually really committed suicide and then they were surprised to see themselves still alive and and they were frustrated. Anyway,
It's not meant for them to be gone yet.
now the thing here is what happens to us after this lifetime. So, well, the church tells us we will move on uh, to heaven. But again, that's the only place they always talk about. But there is no such thing as such a particular place because heaven is a state of being in terms of who we are.
Hmm.
Wherever we are is heaven. I mean, you
Unless you're
cannot say,
vibrating negatively, then you're in hell.
unless you're feeling negative, you're in hell. But if you're always positive and you are on a higher level of consciousness, you're always in heaven. And
Correct.
that's what people don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
That it is not a place. It is not a, we will not travel going to heaven. Right now, if you're happy, if you're healthy, if you're prosperous, you're, you have loving relationships, you're in heaven. I mean, what else can you ask for?
Correct.
So why are we trying to tell people that we have to die first to experience heaven? That's the worst thing to tell people.
They want everyone to be miserable so we can all be vibing in a negative vibration, and then they can harness our negative energy.
Eto nga eh. I mean, okay. I don't know if you will, if your listeners or your viewers will actually agree with this, but then again, many extraterrestrial beings are so much envious as to who we are
Yes.
because they know we are more powerful than them. They know we are more uh, enlightened than them because we are the source. I mean, we're connected with the source. We have a soul. We are spiritual beings. And so that's exactly why why these extraterrestrial beings envy us. When actually, right now, everyone is watching the world, the earth. I mean, what we're doing here. Because actually, some of them are laughing because they know how powerful they are, and then they see how we move here as if we don't have that kind of power. And
Correct.
so they are trying to really just, tell us, hey, you have to understand that you're not that weak. Anyway, aside from that, many souls, many souls would want to actually take our place as to why we are, for example, why I incarnated here on earth. I mean, before I incarnated here, there were some other souls trying to actually vie with me to be able to incarnate in this body that I am now using. So, in other words, many souls really would want to experience life on earth again because they know this is the best place they can go to. But people now think that it's hard to live here because that's what we were programmed to believe in. I mean, but if you go back to the spirit realm, you will now understand again. Hey, I was duped. I was told the wrong things. I mean, I should go back again. And so when you go back again, I mean, I
Yeah.
think you're now going to get a better life because you understand how it was in the previous lifetime.
And people don't understand that by the time they get to learn the lessons, their time in that lifetime had ended already. That's why they had to keep going back to
Yeah, I mean,
to
all
try
right.
and
The
remember who
thing
they
here is
are.
okay. The thing here is why are we coming here? Why do we exist now in this particular lifetime? Because we want to experience new things. We want to learn new things. We're not here to actually what? Yun na nga, sabi nga nila, you come here to save the world. No. I mean, I just came here because I wanted to grow, to expand consciousness. That's my soul. It's my soul's choice to be able to experience all these things so that it can really become more of what it should be. And that's how we move to other dimensions in the future, although there's no time. But that's how we create that kind of, I would say, expansion in our consciousness. Because if we don't experience, we have to go for the experience. It's it's really the experience that counts very much here on earth. But what are we trying to experience? The wrong things. So this again is what we're trying to eradicate or explain here properly in our Kamalayan session.
Yes. So if I could just add something real quick. So basically, we are all pure light, but because of free will, we separate ourselves from God because we made some choices that are not in alignment with the divine. So we separate
Well,
ourselves from God, and then we experience the things that we wanted to experience. But sometimes we get so far away from light that we don't
it's
remember to
because
return
we
back.
were given, we were given free will, so we forgot everything. So
Yes.
we have to start from zero again. And so the only way to really learn or to find out is attend our Kamalayan sessions, and we would tell you exactly why you're here, what to do, what you're going to do, and how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
So, because as I've said, that is our mission here. Although we're not trying to save the world, but again, we volunteered. I volunteered to come here to teach this. That's what I have realized.
Correct.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have been given the knowledge of all these things, or
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have siguro reincarnated again in this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I've been reminded, because I thought when I forgot everything, I thought life was going to just be something na parang uh, just rock and roll. I mean, enjoy uh, my life, drinking, dancing, going out with people, enjoying life the way it should. I mean, the way the kind of things that normally we see in this world. But then again, what happens is what happened to me was I was reprimanded. I was reprimanded by my spirit guides, and they took away many of the things I used to have and said, "Hey, we're going to take this away because you're not supposed to just go for these things. These are not the things that you're supposed to be, I mean, having or just enjoying. You have something. You have to know that you came here for another reason." And that was when I realized I had to come up with this Kamalayan thing that I am now doing. And so that's what I'm doing now, explaining to people. Although a lot of my friends really never really realized when they actually were uh, with me during my early days. Sabi, Tato, how did you get into that kind of an advocacy? I mean, we never imagined you that you will become like this in the future. And so I said, I never even knew also. I forgot all about this until suddenly I said, enough is enough. I will just give up everything that I used to do and change direction. And that was it. I was guided naman. So, okay now.
I
I'm
think
enjoying it.
good, good. I think I mentioned this in one of the videos, but basically we experience challenges in our lives, such as financial problem or relationship problem or a health crisis. And usually those things happens because we're supposed to pay attention on something like that's
Correct.
the time when we're actually having our God moment, like that's the time when we really want God to help us, right? But we shouldn't actually wait until that time comes. But it happens because of our free will. But usually, when people encounter those three kinds of crisis, that's when they basically question their reality, why they're here, and eventually um, they go through the dark night of the soul, where they find out when they find out, oh, I have a mission here. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, so yeah.
no, go ahead, Paul.
No, actually, during my, I would say, my 20s, I was already being told by some of my friends, you know, you're confused. Sabi ko, what do you mean I'm confused? Because, you're in this particular job, but you keep on talking about other things that's not, that are not related about,
Yeah.
with the kind of thing that we're doing here. Sabi ko nga, it's not so. I never thought about it. But then again, I thought I was being normal in talking about my other things. Yung pala, totoo nga,
Yeah.
iba talaga yung pan ko. The way I was supposed to really do things was supposed to be different. And so it happened that I had to really realize later on, enough is enough. So I committed already to really concentrate in what I'm doing now with Kamalayan.
Well said. So, for those people who are watching this right now, you may be in a point in your life where you're going through dark night of the soul, where you're questioning your reality, you're trying to figure out why you're here, why you're having all these experiences, and it's actually by design. So, going through the moment of reflection, reflecting on the things that happened to you, um, just know that your guardian angels are there to always help you out. So they won't help you until you invoke them. So just make sure, remember to call on them. They're always on standby to help you out. So
Yeah, we have a lot of we have a lot of guides, guardian angels, not only guardian angels, but multi-dimensional beings.
yes. So I think that's point number two. So let's move forward. If you don't have anything else on point
No,
two,
no, no. I think
let's
we can go to the next one now.
okay, so number three, it says the one is all and the all is one. Everything is connected, no exceptions. So my commentary on this one is yes, I agree. And also I said, when you hurt someone, it's like hurting the creator because we are all
Yeah,
connected. We are one. Your consciousness, whether you embody positive or negative, affects the collective consciousness. That's why when you go within, quiet your mind, when you do shadow work, you are contributing positively to the collective. That's my uh,
exactly.
that's my
That's a
comment on point
universal law.
three.
Actually, this is one of the universal laws that was taught to me rather by extraterrestrials. Imagine ET beings saying these things. So akala natin ET, I mean, they don't actually know God, but basically they really are connected to the source. I mean, they acknowledge that one God, and that one God is the only God. And we are also connected to that God. And God is also in us as well, in all of us. So the one is all and the all is the one. So basically, we are all the one and the same as God. We are all connected. And this is not exactly explained in the right context by the church because, well, as I've said, separation is the thing that they teach us. So again, this is something that brought out our, I would say, sufferings in this lifetime that we're experiencing here. Because if you're not connected with the source, you're dead. I mean, that's exactly what the word is. I mean, you're not going to become productive or creative or happy or whatever you want to enjoy. You will not be able to flourish in whatever you're supposed to be doing, whatever in any endeavor that you would like to have or do. So practically, they destroyed the very essence who we are by not teaching us this right, well, the right concept of God is in us, and we are all God. I mean, we are all in God as well. So there's no separation. We are all connected. We're one and the same. It's just like if you are looking at the ocean and you see the waves. One of the waves, one wave, actually, let's say that's you. Once it actually uh, does its, I would say, um, purpose in terms of what waves are for, you go back again to the water, I mean, to the ocean. So practically nothing has changed, nothing was separated. We still are the same. But you were individualized as that one particular wave that was that that we get to see or we get to experience. Or rather, if you really want to go more scientific, is you look at the kind of water that you get from the ocean and put it under the microscope. And even in that small amount of water that you get from the ocean is basically everything. You will see everything that the entire ocean is composed of. Nothing less, nothing more. So one small drop of water is practically the same as that of the whole big ocean that we are actually seeing. So that is how we compare us to God in terms of who we are. Nothing less. We are not, I would say, we're not just the spark. I mean, yeah, you mentioned Kanina, the spark of God, but we're not just the spark. We are really God as we. And that is not hard to understand if you are able to really see the connection really with everything. Because at this point in time, we have seen people suffer because of that particular teaching that we are separated from God. And that's really, again, the worst thing to teach. So we have to really be able to understand our connectivity with the source. And if we understand that, nothing is really impossible because you will say, well, I am a child of God. Well, I'm not just a child of God. You are God as you. And if you understand that, everything that God can do, you can do. Even Jesus said that. When Jesus said, because Jesus was being attributed as a God. And sabi niya, what I have done, you can do even better. I mean, if he was really the only God that we actually tried, that the church would actually try to project to us, why would he say such a thing? That we human beings can do more than what he had done before. Imagine also, what does that explain? That we are really one and the same. That's why when he says,
Mm.
I and the Father are one, exactly, this is it, the connection. And that is exactly the whole concept of the teachings of Jesus Christ, that we are all God as we. And that was not that was not brought to us in a correct manner or brought to us in the correct context. So imagine, naghihirap ang karamihan sa atin because feeling nila tao lang sila sapagkat kami tao lamang. Imagine that. Again, as I've said, we are not just tao lamang. Tayo ay just friend. We are God and human beings at the same time. That's why, okay, maybe I have to explain here. The spirit which is us as well. The spirit, everything is spirit. Spirit is energy as well. Spirit is the God in us. Okay? The soul is the one that knows it is spirit and human that has a physical body. So there's a distinction between soul and spirit. So it has a body, it has a soul. I mean, it has consciousness. Everything that we experience are actually, I would say, stuck, I mean, locked on that consciousness of the particular soul. So we have different types of, we have different kinds of consciousness in terms of who we are. We're not all the same. But again, we we have to understand that we are not separated from the source. So the third one is the physical body. So again, we are spirit, we are soul, and body. So if we die, we lose the body. The soul continues to become one with the spirit realm again, but it retains its consciousness. That's why we do not uh, get to discard, we do not discard our identity. We still continue living who we are. We do not change that. We grow, we expand, we learn more, we actually experience more other things. But then again, it's still me, the same Tato, who will experience all those things. I am not, I would say, uh, who is this? A lot of people would say, I'm not Julius Caesar. I'm not Jesus Christ, as some would claim that they were Jesus in a past life. You can never be another person. You still continue to be who you are. That's why we have to understand exactly all these things that I am talking about here. So there's nothing hard to really explain here. But again, as I've said, we continue our life as who we are, and we live in different worlds the next time we actually incarnate in future uh, lives that we will actually live. So still we are the same. That's why the souls, when we talk about souls, we talk about uh, twin twin flames and soul mates. But basically, you can see here the distinct personalities between the two souls who are soulmates. So they are two different souls and twin flames, whatever. So again, we have to understand all these things. Otherwise, we are just not going to really live life the way we're supposed to live it in terms of who we are as God, as we, as I am.
Yeah, and people would probably realize that when they're going through difficulties in life, that's when they question things.
Actually, ito nga eh, yung mga nagkaroon ng near-death experiences, people died. Practically, they died. But they went back. Their soul came back to earth. And so, sabi nga nila, ganun pala yun. Parang hindi rin pala ako namatay. So practically, I was still alive. I was still remembering a lot of things. So there was nothing new, except that what I was seeing was of a different nature. It was pure love, all joy, and all spirit, no physical body. But again, they said it was still me who was thinking I am during that time. So practically, as I've said, as I've always mentioned, that is that is exactly who we are. We continue to live forever in terms of who we are and enjoy different, well, I would say experiences. Yeah, we don't change identities. We don't assume that we become like this or become another person, another being, but we always would stay the same. But we will uh, evolve to a higher level of consciousness where we enjoy the other, I would say, the other um, levels of consciousness.
I just remembered something funny that I want to share because I post this actually because it's so funny. There's this prisoner in Iowa state and basically he died already, but they tried to bring him back. So so then he came back. So then when he came back, he argued that he should be let out of prison. And his argument is that, well, my penalty is life sentence, but since I
Yeah.
already died, then I
Uh-huh.
should be out. So basically, he's saying that since he already died, he already served his life sentence. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a good argument. It's
yeah, that's
hysterical,
true.
but no, he wasn't able to leave.
That's
I just,
funny.
I just thought that was funny. Okay, so let's go move on to point four. And I think we'll do point four and five today, and then we will continue to the next session. So number four, it says, everything is here and now. The past is a story, the future a forecast, but today is where I live. So the comment that I wrote in here is that when you are not living in the moment, you are missing out on divine's nudges. Living in the past will put you in the vibration of regret most of the time, and living in the future will put you in the vibration of worry. So both are low vibe frequencies, so that what you attract, so that's what you will attract in your life, negative low vibe frequencies. So go
Okay, I
ahead.
think you're correct. You're kind of correct there. But then again, what I'm trying to really say here, or what was explained to me here, was that there's no time. So everything is just in the now, here in the now. And so what is that? If you try to understand the concept of the now, everything is just happening now. The past is still being actually lived, but in the presence. I mean, in the present, rather, in the now. So what I'm saying here is we have parallel lives. We live in a multiverse. Practically, we have different lives, different, I would say, versions of who we are, and you can go to any place at once the moment we decide as to where we want to go in terms of, well, we want to go to the past is just still in the present. So you can actually reminisce something in your memory, but then again, you're doing it still in the present. So practically, it's not in the past. So you're bringing it all again in the present. So it's just everything is just like a radio station or a TV channel. You just try to focus on what frequency you would like to actually live your life in. That's why we talk about energy, frequency, and vibration, because everything is just energy, frequency, and vibration. So practically everything is just uh, a, uh, a concept that we have created according to what we try to imagine. Everything that's physical is just an illusion. So anything that you would want to create, you create through your imagination and you will experience it and have it have whatever you want according to uh, exactly how you would like to experience it. But again, as I've said, nothing is impossible. Anything is already with us. That's why when you pray, people pray as if they would ask for something that they don't have, when everything is already in with us or in us, and everything is already given to us. Now the thing here is, why are we not enjoying the things that we are supposed to be enjoying? We are the only thing, we are the only ones who is actually trying to put a barrier or obstacles as to all the things that are already for us, or are already given to us. That's why a lot of times people get to be frustrated with their lives because, as they said, I actually don't know why God does not answer my prayers. Again, all right. Siguro ididikit ko na yung number 5. So para lang
Mm.
tuloy-tuloy na tayo.
Yep.
So you read first, God, number 5.
Okay. So number 5 says, God's nature responds to my consciousness, my beliefs, feelings, and thoughts shape my reality. And then what I commented on my
Yeah,
post is that
yeah,
listen to the lyrics of the song You Can Do Magic by America. You can do magic. You can have anything that you desire. I know this to be true because I'm living it. Perhaps you don't believe in magic. That's why it does not manifest in your life. So start believing.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly why we don't experience what we want, or why we don't get what we want. Because again, as I've said, God's nature is to respond to our feelings, to whatever we want. God always says, yes, that's what you want? Yes. So, okay, a lot of us would say, I want a lot of money, but you're coming from scarcity,
A place of lack.
lack, a place of lack, of lack. So practically, God answers who you are in terms of what you are feeling at the moment, and says, yes, I'll give it to you. And what is it that God is giving you? More lack, more scarcity, because that's who you are still. That's what you are trying to still live at that moment. You haven't gotten over that kind of a limitation. And that is exactly what is wrong with how we pray. Because again, as I've said, God always says, yes. God always says, you want this? Go. I will give it to you. And so, what's the problem? Our consciousness. If we come from a limited consciousness, that's how we actually are going to experience our relationship to God when it comes to our prayers. Because we are not praying in the correct manner. We have to now be able to understand how to pray the right way. Because the only thing that you will the only way to really get what you want is to be able to understand that God always says yes, but according to who you are. Are you coming from scarcity? Are you coming from lack? Are you coming from prosperity or from abundance? Are you coming from joy? Are you coming from sadness? Because all these things are just exactly what God reads in us. God is not into details, but practically He is into our consciousness. So, what are we trying to convey? So, if we don't change our consciousness to a higher one, we will always be living and getting things from our lower consciousness, which is what? Sadness, anger, all our, I would say, diseases, and sick illnesses. Those are from the lower consciousness, and that exactly is what we are getting a lot of because of who we are. That's why you'll notice the Filipinos really are poor, sick, uh, having a hard time struggling, I mean, in this world, because basically they're on the level of low consciousness. And so we're trying to elevate their consciousness to a higher one so that they'll be able to get what they really should be getting in the first place, because it's already there. I mean, everything is here and now, and God is always saying yes to whatever we want. There's nothing impossible. But again, it is us putting the limits or the limitations on what we should be getting. I think that explains exactly. I don't know if you still have questions on that.
No, I do not have any question, but what came to mind is my master class that I create. It's teleport to the best version of you, which is
Yeah,
I created a couple months ago, and some people took it and got benefit from it, and they're still practicing it. So if you haven't, take a look at that because it will open you up to some of the things that you may not be aware of. I teach a lot of ancient teachings there, ancient wisdom that are, very, very relevant today that we don't even know. Like that the school and church, I didn't learn that from school or church. So those are the kind of things that I thought there. Anyway, okay, great. That's I think we're in a good point right now to end this call, and then we
yeah.
will resume another
Continue with the
day.
other half.
Yeah, we'll
Uh,
continue with the other half on another day because otherwise we're going on 3 hours here. We don't want to do that.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
We have to really keep on actually talking about the same things again and again because these are hard concepts to really absorb
Correct, correct.
because it runs contrary to what they were taught, especially in religion.
Yes, yes, definitely. All right. So I'm
So
gonna I'm gonna end this now, and I'll send you another link for our next Zoom call, and then we
yeah,
can
next,
cover the
next
the
week.
last next Tuesday again, and then we go from there. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Bye.